All right, good morning, BTN. I'm Johnny Bryant with ASL Electric, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about our company, and oh, cool, and how we can best work together. In the theme of what's been going on this year, I thought I'd spend a little bit of time telling you about myself and a little bit of background, and then the presentation, mainly some pictures and stuff. Everybody loves pictures of projects. So check this out. Both of my parents were professional wrestlers. I was a top secret spy at 18, spent time on the other side of the Berlin Wall, went through Checkpoint Charlie in uniform with AK-47s loaded, pointed at me, and I was homeless at 17. So pretty crazy background. I grew up in Georgia, single mom, but lived in and out of homes because my mom owned a bar and slept late. It just was a great opportunity for parenting. Finally moved in with her later on in life, but was a product of a single mom, and she had a big influence on me in my life and how I've been able to connect with people, because for whatever reason, I've always been able to connect well with women. I'm a manly, burly, good old Southern boy, but I also know how to kind of connect with women and understand kind of the soft and emotional side of just kind of relationships. So went through high school. It took me 5 years. I was kind of on my own at 17. I stayed in school just because I kind of knew I had to, and I think the good Lord was helping me along the way when I didn't know any better. Went in the Army because I didn't really have a whole lot of other options, but wanted to go to school, so I went in the Army. Did really well in the Army for whatever reasons. Horrible in school. I think in 5 years in high school, GPA was 1.4. So I played football and chased girls and just kind of did what I had to do to get through. Didn't have a lot of direction, no dad at home, not a lot of parental direction, so I was kind of doing the best I could. All this matters, I guess, later on as I continue to talk about my background. So I went in the Army, did really well. I think, in the service, basically everything kind of gets dumbed down is a bad word, but, it has to be mediocre enough where everybody can get it. And so for whatever reason, I kind of got it, right? And I did really well. Went to Germany out of basic training, and they put me in this thing. I was doing competitions where I would go stand in front of generals and sergeant majors, and I'd have to do this whole thing and tell the velocity of an M16, or I'd have to tell you if that was a MiG-21, like they did. That was called a board. I did really well at that and ended up finishing second in all of Europe as Soldier of the Year. Lost to a girl, by the way. That's kind of funny. So, and I started to get confidence, like, wow, I can do this, and so did really well in the military, came back, was doing some cool top secret stuff, doing nuclear artillery, came back to the States for a couple of years, but I always knew that wasn't, I wasn't going to be a career military guy. It just kind of wasn't my thing. I was more of an entrepreneur, I wanted to do business and leadership. I was an entrepreneur. I was born as an entrepreneur. I don't know if it was my culture or history or whatever, but I was selling candy in 4th grade. By the time I was in high school, when all the other jocks were walking around with their gym bags with footballs in it, I had Jolly Ranchers and Charms Blow Pops that I was buying for 4 cents a piece, and I was selling for $0.25. And I was making so much money when I was homeless at 17, I was having to iron my dollar bills because they were taking up too much room. So I bought my Letterman jacket, I dated girls, I had my thing, just selling candy. So I've always had this entrepreneurial spirit. So even in the Army, I'm like, I can't, this is not me. Got out, go to school, and guess what? I did really well in school. I have 2 engineering degrees and an executive MBA from Pepperdine, graduated #1 in my class in all of them. And so that's why it was kind of important to show, kind of where I came from and where it is now. But it's not that I was the smartest kid in school, but nobody out-hustled me. Always willing to do the work to get the result, and that's kind of what I try to teach my people at work and even my child. So I went into the corporate world out of my undergrad, was an engineer, went into management, worked for Fortune 500 companies. The second half of my career, I was what's called a parachute executive. And so it was kind of like a free agent executive, right? So I would go into these companies for 1.5 years, 2 years, and would help turn them around for whatever various reasons. One most recent was I went to work for Royalty Carpets, so a lot of this was in the flooring industry. Royalty Carpets in Irvine, they hired me, and day one of the jobs, here's a $10 million lawsuit from Irvine Company, I need you to fix it. And so that was fun. But it was like an 18-month, 2-year deal. I came in, I fixed it. I ran their manufacturing. They had a liquidity event. They sold out. So did I. So I did like 4 of those type deals, but all the while I always wanted to do my own thing. But I couldn't because my day job was too good, right? I did really well in the corporate world. I fueled that, and this is where it kind of, I guess, aligns with BTN a little bit. I fueled my entrepreneurial spirit while I was going through my career by buying real estate. So I would buy real estate, mainly buy and hold, not a lot of flipping, but we own 20 different properties now that I've just kind of acquired over the years, buy and hold, and that has a lot of maintenance and building and repairs, and so I kind of always been in the early years I did all the work. Now I hire most all of that out. I built houses from the ground up. When I was younger and didn't know any better, a couple of the engineers were building houses in Shaw Industries, a big flooring manufacturer, and I was like, well, I can do that. So I bought a book, Building the Custom Home, still have the book, and I bought some land, I bought some plans, and I built a home. And so that's I guess kind of how I connect with BTN now as a trade organization. So anyways, fast forward 2018, I'm doing really well career. They're paying me more money than you just couldn't imagine. But it was not very fulfilling. I was working for a guy that owned the company. It was a real piece of work. He was married with kids, but had a girlfriend. Had a tough time getting payroll and bonuses given to my people, and he was buying his girlfriend $5,000 shoes in Vegas. It was just a real grind, and I was north of 50 at that point. I'm like, it's time. And so I cut the cord. I gave up a really fat corporate job, making a lot of money, so that I could be a Hall of Fame dad, Hall of Fame husband, and own my own business. And now, thank God, most mornings during the school year, I cook breakfast for my family. I coach my son's soccer and baseball teams, and I kind of passed on the CEO train, and now I'm just Johnny, the small business owner, and I love it. It's kind of my dream come true. And so I'll share a little bit about ASL Electric. When I decided to leave the corporate world, it was buy anything. I bought businesses before for other people. I had bought a couple of businesses for myself. I've ran businesses, and so I didn't really care what it was. The last job I was in the fire safety business, managing about 400 buildings for AT&T from San Diego to LA, and then we ended up expanding that through the western half of the US. So electrical contracting among 10 or 12 other companies we're looking at really was the same model as fire alarm and fire safety. Instead of a fire alarm control panel, smoke detectors, pull stations, it's main electrical panel, switches, dimmers, and lights. So very, vans and service calls. So the model is very similar, so it's an easy plug-in for us. Stefan was a member of BTN when I bought ASL Electric, and so actually it's not quite my birthday yet, but I'll be 5 years next month at BTN. And so I bought ASL Electric in 2018, and we've kind of been softly at the right pace growing ever since. We started a plumbing division a couple of years ago, so we've been learning and growing in that space too. Things are going pretty good for ASL. So I'll tell you a little bit about that company. Thanks for indulging me and letting me tell a little bit about my story. Did a little bit about the introduction. Share with you a new team member that we have at ASL. Tell you a little bit about who we are, what we do. Mostly go through some pictures today and maybe some referral opportunities. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of time for questions at the end. So this is my family. At the upper left corner, this is my son Evan. So we do a lot of fun stuff together, including he's buying his first rental property from me this month, and we play a lot of sports together. And he also strips the leftover copper, so the leftover Romex and stuff we clean up off the sites. He has bought a little tabletop stripper, and he strips the copper. And to date, his company is named Regenix. To date, he's made $477 stripping copper. So that creates a lot of really cool conversations as we're out in the garage. We talk about process, we talk about labor, we talk about putting in the work and those kinds of things. So love being a dad, love being a husband. Amy is a teacher. She teaches at St. Anne in Laguna Niguel. She is a super pro. And then that's the new team member, Enzo, our 11-month-old golden retriever. It's a little bit about our company. We're veteran owned. We do mainly Orange County and local surrounding areas. We do residential and commercial. Helps is something that we teach and train all of our employees both over and over as we have our monthly training, but particularly with new hires. Helps is our company values, and it stands for honesty, effort, learning and growth, positivity, and sharing. And so we break down all of those with our people, and that's what we espouse to do to be a great company. Our best customers mainly are general contractors, property managers, designers, emergency restoration, ADUs, homeowners, and God is our CEO. When we started ASL, we said, a partner and I, we had worked for some really crappy people and companies, and we said early on when we were designing out the company that we wanted to hold ourselves to a higher accountability, right? And so it's not about religion. In fact, my partner is a devout Muslim. It's about when you're in the back room and you're making decisions, it's making the right decisions, it's doing the right thing, knowing that the CEO is watching. And that's who we try to serve, and that's who we hold ourselves accountable to. And it's good to say it, right? Because you say that, he's going to hold you accountable, right? So that's why we make sure we share that and don't hide it. Here's some pictures. This is a picture. This is 4 or 5 months old, but this is our team, plumbing and electricians, outside of our shop. Our span, we do everything from changing out an outlet. Hey, we got an outlet smoking, can you come check it out? And we'll just do very small $99 service calls, all the way up to full-scale electric design. I regularly get plans with no electrical on them, and we'll do the electrical design, which generally gets us about 95% of what the homeowner or contractor needs. And then obviously on site there's tuning of that. And this is Enzo, he's the new team member, so sometimes he rides with me to work when it makes sense. This is what I do a lot of my days. So this is on my island at home, a plan set, highlighters, and I'm just going through making counts. Playing the game is what I call. I'm walking through the house, kind of visualizing it being 3D, and I enjoy that. I think I told Paul yesterday, and some of you know, when I first went to school, my undergrad, I started out as an architecture major because that's what my mom wanted me to be, So, and I love drawing, vanishing points and 3D drawings and stuff. And so I still love that part of my job, the design piece, the plans and the working drawings, all that stuff. I love that part of my job. These are some cool pictures that the guys have sent in. Sometimes we have little contests where we'll have guys send in pictures when you're out in the field, and those are some really cool ones. This is our skyscraper ladder. This thing goes, I think, 26 feet in the air. Helps us get into some of those really high vaulted ceiling areas where maybe scaffolding or lifts won't work. Yeah, no thank you. Just some general pictures from job sites, a lot of EV chargers, a lot of custom LED tape lighting. We can pretty much illuminate and light anything. Water heaters, it's like every week somebody calls and says, my water heater is leaking at the bottom, and so, we need to educate our customers. If your water heater is more than 10 years old, you're on borrowed time. 10 to 12 years old is about what you can expect out of a tanked water heater. But this turns into a whole mold and all that stuff. You have to call John in and take care of those things too. A lot of high-end homes, thank God. We're trusted, and our guys, we train and teach, and we're not perfect. And we do our training. I say this regularly. We're not perfect, but that is our target, right? And so we're always working to try and get a little better. And thankfully, we're trusted to be in some really nice homes and high-end projects. That's a really cool fixture we recently did. Is one-of-a-kind fixture from Italy, backlit LED in a really nice home in Laguna Beach. Here's some just project work. Shows pride. We got guys that will laser Romex behind the walls just because they care. This is on one of your projects. This was
I remember that.
I can't remember what's the name of it, but we worked with you and Joanna on that project. And this was Pierre gave us a nice shot. This is a couple of years ago. You recognize that one, Pierre? It's an ADU that we did. And we did all the underground plumbing and stuff from there. This is one of our panels. This is a big project we're working on right now in Yorba Linda, full-scale remodel rehab. It's a nice one in Newport Beach that's coming up. Looking forward to that one. This is one in San Clemente. This guy bought this place for his wife as a birthday present. How sweet. And so we're doing kind of a full-scale renovation in San Clemente on that house. And a lot of custom stuff. We love this too. So like they don't want us to touch the ceiling, but they want lights in it. Sit back. And so we really enjoy those kinds of things. And so we're very, our guys, and no credit here, we're very creative in how we could get wiring through these cracks, how we went inside this trim right here to get them some lighting out in the room without disrupting the beauty of the age and period kind of home that it is, and they wanted to keep it that way. Here's a big commercial project. I don't talk about this a lot because we don't do it a lot, but it seems like they come in big bams, the commercial stuff, but we do it. We're good at it. It's not hard, and the commercial guys love the way that we serve them because we're used to serving on the residential side, which is a lot more, I think, precise than what commercial people usually get. So this is in Laguna Niguel. We did a big project for them. They bought a bunch of Ferrari type treadmills. I think these treadmills are like $5,000 a piece, and they all had to have dedicated circuits, dedicated neutrals, and there's a lot of calculations, and it was just a fun project, and they were a great client. We tore up the floors. I think I talked to you about, got some advice from Sharon, so it helped us there indirectly. We were able to put the floors right back down over this channel under the floor, and we're about to do another project for them. They're just a great client. Here's another, this is one of my favorite projects we did in Laguna Beach. Beautiful home, beautiful view, a lot of just like super cool custom lighting, a lot of challenges, but not hard challenges, but fun challenges. Hey, can you do this? What can we do here? Just kind of, everybody loves pictures. Views, good. So, what was that?
They need window coverage.
Yeah, they do. I need to connect you with them. So we'd love your referrals to any general contractors, property managers, restoration companies. If we've done work for you and you like it, we'd love Google and Yelp reviews, and we'd ask that you follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And then, you know, in closing, what I'd say is, you know, I think maybe I shared with you that I'm a little bit of a nerd. I've bought and sold lots of businesses, and I love it. I love that. And so beyond electrical work, I'm so thankful for this whole organization. I'd love to help you with anything else. So we talked a little bit about it last week. So if you're wanting to prepare your company to sell, you're wanting to buy another company, or you just want to talk shop, man, I could talk for hours about that stuff. So happy to help you guys and girls with anything independent of electrical or plumbing stuff. So that's all I have. How much time do I have left, Pierre?
2 minutes.
2 minutes, perfect. That was my plan. Any questions or comments, Gail?
What's your Instagram name?
It would be ASL Electric.
Okay.
Thank you.
I had something interesting the other day, Johnny. Remember Raphael and then Alex Olson, their property in Lassen up in Northridge?
Uh-huh.
They did the panel replacement.
Yep.
And I'm sure they'll do the electrical when they get there. The city asked us to take out the utility and electrical plans from the set, which is the first time I've ever seen that. And all they wanted on the floor plan for electrical or for utility were smoke detectors and I think maybe ventilation fans. So when you get to that project, I have the whole utility plan done that you pour through on your counter, like you said.
Yeah.
But it's not in the city set. It's the same thing. I mean, it's still valid.
LA is crazy.
It is weird.
LA is crazy.
Yeah.
They make it really tough to do business. I mean, just getting the permitting done for that project, the electrical permitting was a merry-go-round. You can't get people to call you back, and it was just tough.
Yeah.
But, I mean, eventually, it's like you said, eventually we get there,
Eventually.
but it takes a lot of work in LA.
All right.
Thank y'all.